number one priority, the number one thing that I decided to run in the first place for is that I want to bring jobs and opportunity back here to Leavenworth and Fort Leavenworth. And you know, even before coronavirus, this town was dying. You go downtown, just look at empty storefronts. I count 25. Wendy Scheit from the Leavenworth Main Street, she counts 22. We won't quibble over 2 or 3, but there are a lot of darn empty storefronts downtown in Leavenworth. And it wasn't like that when we came here in 2006. When I talked to folks that were here before I got here, it used to be even better. You know, we were on a downward slide. And there are a lot of things that contribute to that, but two big ones are, first, we do not have folks available to work. We have a lot of folks that are unemployed or underemployed, but they're not available to work because they're trapped in systems that are designed to help them. They're trapped in things like food stamps, trapped in things like disability programs, and those things salary cap their ability to go out and work in these jobs. And when a company is looking for a place to locate, number one is, are there going to be employees to work in my business? And, you know, I talked to Steve Jack, he's the director of the Leavenworth County Development Corporation the other day. Actually, it's been several months now, it's before I was elected. He said, you know, we went through his whole spiel that he gives to companies, and he said, you know, the dirty little secret in this brochure is it says that we've got 8,000 people available to work, but those people are not really available to work full time. And it's because of this problem. We've got so many of our neighbors that are trapped in this cycle of poverty, trapped in these programs that are designed to help them. That, you know, my big objective, the reason that I decided to run, is because of those neighbors that are struggling in the system. You know, and the step one is sort of to stop the bleeding, and that's really fixing our unemployment program, because we got a lot of new folks. 22,000 Kansans have been added to the rolls for food stamps since the beginning of coronavirus. And so first we got to stop more people from getting into the system. And that means, you know, getting the jobs going that, you know, back going at full speed that these people are unemployed from. But it's also fixing the unemployment system. You know, I get dozens and dozens and dozens of phone calls and emails every month from folks in our town that have been waiting 2, 3, 4, 5 months for their unemployment benefits. It's because the Department of Labor is broke. It's broke. In April, I think it was April or May, they were warned by the federal government that organized crime was going to start attacking unemployment systems with fraudulent claims. At that time, they got a bunch of stimulus money to help fix their IT system. By the way, 2 or 3 years ago, they got tens of millions of dollars to fix their IT infrastructure. And then this summer, they got millions of dollars, tens of millions of dollars to fix their IT system. They did not address the problem, and they got swamped with fraudulent claims. There were as many claimants in Kansas requesting unemployment benefits as there were people working in the state. 600 million, maybe more, that's an estimate. 600 million is what the post audit found that we've paid in fraudulent claims. And it goes into a bank account, and it's immediately withdrawn from a bank account. It goes to Nigeria, it goes to Ukraine, it goes to China. It's gone. It's never coming back to Kansas. It's just gone. And so there's a bunch of pieces of that problem that I've been working on since you sent me to Topeka. The first one is our neighbors that need unemployment. And so if you're watching at home, or if you're in here and you know somebody has this issue, please email me, pat.proctor@house.ks.gov. It's on my Facebook page, it's everywhere. Email me, and I will get somebody at the Department of Labor to call you. Because what I'm hearing from all of our neighbors is you call the Department of Labor 300 times a day and you never get an answer. Or you get a machine and they take your information and they never call you back. If you're lucky, you get a machine. And so I will get the Department of Labor to call you to work on your issue. And some, you know, I've had probably about a 60% success rate. on actually getting people paid after that, but they're no longer answering my phone calls either. So they're sick of hearing from me. But I have had some success in getting people paid. So please, if you're having that issue, contact me, because I want to get your benefits so that you can pay your bills and get back on your feet and go look for a job. You can pay for childcare while you're looking for a job and don't have to go on food stamps in order to feed your family, because once you get in the program, it's very, very hard to get out. And so that's the first piece of fixing the unemployment problem. The other piece of fixing the unemployment problem is that $600 million, somebody's got to pay that. The way that the unemployment fund is paid is by small businesses. So my restaurant, when I hire somebody, we pay them, and then we have to pay unemployment insurance for them. And that unemployment insurance goes into the unemployment trust fund that pays those benefits. Well, it's empty. $600 million, just gone. They're part of the reason that benefits aren't getting paid is because there's not enough money to pay all the benefits for people who actually deserve it. So we had to do something about that problem. And so the two things, we passed a bill recently that does several things. First, unfortunately, it gives Department of Labor even more money to fix their IT infrastructure. But I and many of my conservative fellow representatives were not going to give them the money unless they were forced to show us how bad the problem was. Because what they've been doing for months and months and months, when the legislature is not in session, there are interim committees. And in the interim committees, and then once we came back, we were asking, how much money have you paid in fraudulent claims? How many fraudulent claims do you have? How many claims do you have? How much money total have you? And they would not tell us. Well, we'll have to get back to you. Well, we'll have to get back to you. So I'm not giving them any more money until they throw open their books and show us how bad the problem is, so that we can target money to help them fix the problem. And so the bill that we passed gives them the money, but it also forces them to throw open the books. But the other thing it does is it holds the businesses harmless for those fraudulent claims. Because right now, if you go on unemployment tomorrow, the benefits are paid by the business. The initial benefits get paid out of the trust fund, but then the continuing benefits, unless you were fired for cause, the continuing benefits are paid by the business. Well, I don't want to pay for some person in Nigeria's fraudulent claim, and so we've held the businesses harmless, so they're not paying continuously on fraudulent claims. Also, we've put some money back into the trust fund out of the CARES Act money, the stimulus money, to replenish the fund. And I was only willing to do that once they fixed their fraudulent claim problem. And they finally, after months and months and months of the legislature demanding it, have put additional identifying software where you have to say some things about yourself that are on your credit report or whatever to prove that you are who you say you are. And so I think that we've stopped the bleeding in the unemployment system. Now we've just got to repair the damage. And number one is getting people that are missing claims, they're getting them their money so that they don't have to go on food stamps and enter the program. But the other thing about bringing jobs back is making Kansas and making Leavenworth a good place to do business. For years and years and years here, the property tax system has been broken. A bunch of years ago, the legislature, because the property tax system was broken, tried to impose a control to get it back, kind of back under the accountability of the people of Kansas. And they imposed what's called a tax lid. What the tax lid does is if a school board or it wasn't a school board, but the city or the county, the school board was exempt, and we'll get back to that. A county or a city wanted to raise your mill levy, which is the multiplier to the value of your house that's used to calculate your taxes. They had to put it to a vote of the people. They had to hold an election, hold a ballot, and everybody had to vote, yes, I want my taxes to go up, which not a lot of people said, yes, I want my taxes to go up, right? And they thought that would control our property taxes and get the numbers down. Well, all these municipalities figured out a way around it, and if you've got your property tax bill, I'm not telling you anything you don't know, but the way around it is valuations. They increase the value of your house, the mill levy stays the same, the city, county, school board can say, hey, I didn't raise the mill levy. In the newspaper, they have a big headline on the front page says, property taxes stay flat, and then you get your bill and your house has gone up, 8–10%. If we just had the valuations come in again, I don't know how yours looked, but mine looked awful. 13% my house went up, and all I did was mow the lawn for a year. I don't understand that. The county of Leavenworth, the property tax valuation increases were the highest in the state, went up over 8%. The city of Leavenworth went up over 4%, near 5%. Now that's the average. My house went up 13%. Our restaurant went up like 9%, and we didn't do, actually it's in worse shape than it was last year because our sign blew away and we're in the middle of building a new sign for the front, an awning. But this system has broken the tax lid check on increases, and so something had to change. And why am I talking about this in relation to businesses? Well, your house gets taxed at the mill levy. Commercial property, the multiplier is 3 times higher than your house. So while your property taxes go up 8%, effectively my property taxes that go up 24% because you do that multiplier with the mill levy. I mean, it's not exactly like that, but the commercial properties, the multiplier for property tax valuation is much higher than for houses. And so if you're a company and you're looking for a place to locate, and you can locate here, or you can locate right across the river in Platte City, where are you gonna go? You're gonna go where the property taxes are higher, because people can drive across that crappy bridge that we've got until the new one's built. They can drive across that bridge and they can work over there. And so we've got to get that business back from the greater Kansas City area in Missouri back here into Leavenworth. And to do that, we've got to be an attractive place to do business. And getting those property taxes under control is a huge piece of it. So we've done it. Senate Bill 13 has a new mechanism for keeping our property taxes low. So you remember I said before, what they do is they raise the valuations, they keep the mill levy flat, and then the city, the county could say, well, I didn't raise taxes, that's the assessor, I have nothing to say about that. And the school boards were completely exempt from that. They could raise your mill levy every year, and it didn't even have to be at a vote of the people. So what we've done is we've replaced that system with a system where the city, county, schools are held accountable for the tax bill, not for the mill levy rate. So the tax bill is both the valuations and the mill levy. So now, at the beginning of the year, the county clerk will figure out this is how much we took in last year for property taxes, total for the city or the county or the school. So this is the mean level that you took in, with just the inflation added, which is 1 or 2% right now, right? So they say this is the level. If the taxes go up more than that level, that last year level, whether it's through the mill levy increasing or through these ridiculous property valuation increases, they have to take a vote. They have to raise their hand and say, yes, I want to raise taxes on my neighbor.